taking reflective practice forward. In terms of moving forward as reflective practitioners, we can consider a clean approach to reflective practice. What this means is that reflective practitioners are always looking to improve their practice, and improve their practice by means of enhancing the effectiveness of their reflection, the processes that they engage with in order to reflect on practice. And they're also looking at ways to deepen their understanding of the process of reflection as a whole and its application to their practice. This is therefore not something which is applied to the role of the teacher, but as a part of what the teacher does as a teacher. And we can look at a very simple model to help us understand this clean approach, this metacognitive aspect of reflection. And it's the Lawley-Tompkins model of reflection, which has two parallel processes that we can look at as reflective practitioners. The Lawley-Tompkins model has external and internal components. The external behavior is one area of focus for the reflective practitioner in terms of looking at a particular event from what was said, and also the non-verbal aspects of the event. And then also looking at an event from the internal behaviors which drove that particular experience. In other words, what were the actions, the strategies that the teacher was using and applying, and the impacts of those strategies as they were applied. And therefore, looking from these two perspectives, internal and external behaviors, the Lawley-Tompkins model gives us 5 components to consider in terms of clean reflection. And these components are about reflection and looking at desired outcomes of the reflection process, as well as planning and therefore improved or changed practice, and then feedback, which then informs further reflection. And we can represent this very simple model diagrammatically. We can see here the diagrammatic representation of the model, and it starts at point 1 with reflection. And in terms of a cycle, this is reflection on what has happened before. And what happens before reflection, of course, is experience. And the model looks at both the external behaviors as well as the internal behaviors. The external behavior, in terms of part 4 of the model, is about describing the event. The internal behavior is our experience of that event. And these exterior and interior responses lead to feedback for us as reflective practitioners. Feedback which is both external and internal. Feedback as an external component is what we do and how we use the experience. And feedback from an internal perspective is our response. So reflection takes these components into consideration. And from reflection, this leads into stage 2 of the model, which is about desired outcomes, what we want to achieve, how we want to change things. And this leads to stage 3, where we plan out actions, changes, and try to consider what we could do if the changes that we consider don't work. And then, of course, in terms of a cycle, this leads to new experience from an internal and external perspective once again. So we can see that the Lawley-Tompkins model provides a simple reflection cycle of what they call clean reflection, which takes both an internal and an external perspective on the process of reflection, and takes, again, the reflective practitioner through a cycle of thinking in terms of their action.